Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play SaGa 2, Goddess of Destiny. I've cleared my schedule for this afternoon so that the only thing on my agenda is Nasty Dungeon. This is a bit of a long one, this notorious optional dungeon. Basically, we already have all of the relics that were in this world, just the one that was at the entrance. But there are a lot of things here that may be useful for us heading into the last stretch of the game. A lot of rare items of similar power level to the ones we got in the final dungeon can be found here in Nasty Dungeon. But it's going to take us a little while to get to them. There are a number of floors in this place. My hope is that with the addition of excavations to this game, there are going to be even more exciting items than there were in the original game, because that's been my experience thus far in other dungeons in this game. The quality of the equipment and such that you get from excavated chests seems to be about equivalent to what you get in the actual pre-programmed chests. Well, that's not to say that the chests you dig up aren't also pre-programmed, but you know, the ones that were in the original plan for the game, because all of these excavated chests are completely unique to the DS remake. And starting things out with a couple of chests here, we have a body source and also a strength source, so starting things out on a strong footing here. Let's go ahead and use each of those items. I'll give the strength source, just a reminder, Virtue, being a robot, cannot indulge in sources whatsoever, so I'm going to have to give this to one of my other three characters. Of them, let's give this to Zenith. He can actually take advantage of it because of that rune axe he's wielding at the moment. And for the body source, I'll give that to the character with the fewest HP at the moment, who happens to be Elodie. And increasing that by a massive 40, very useful there. I'm not going to heal to top her off, though. It seems a little bit unnecessary. So I'm using stealth quite a lot to get past some of these early encounters so that I can save my resources for fights against later enemies, but that doesn't work if the nightmares just wander straight into me even though I'm invisible. Alright, well, these are enemies we've seen before, so let's move along. And for winning that encounter, we get a spirit increase from Zenith, thanks to that rune axe of his. We also get some meat, but I'm not interested in that. So I'm doing this dungeon here at a slight disadvantage because I'm doing it with one relic as opposed to the 70 some that I would have had if I had headed here at the earliest opportunity. But I think that's more than offset by the fact that I have Father with me. Having a fifth character as I approach this, especially one as powerful as Father, I think is going to make this go a lot more smoothly than it could have otherwise. And also, of course, my characters have gained a lot of stats and powerful equipment from tackling Odin's Valhalla Palace and the final dungeon that I wouldn't have had otherwise. Oh, wow, this floor is big. Okay, do I want to go that way, or do I want to go the other way? Let's take a peek in the other direction and see what's in there. So I'm probably not going to end up showing this entire dungeon off in video because it is so big. Probably going to end up having to cut this experience down quite a lot for the final product. Alright, what do we have here? We have a demon, an adamant shell, a nightmare, and another demon. Nothing new here. And we get another spirit increase for Zenith. Seems to be going up pretty quickly since he had such a small spirit stat to begin with. So yeah, as I was saying, ooh, a Urania evaluation. I wonder what the cause of that is. Oh, actually, I think I know what that is. I think Urania gives evaluations based on using threads in battle. I think I saw that while I was looking up how to recruit that muse. Anyway, yeah, I was saying, I do intend to currently explore as much of this nasty dungeon as I can, carry out as many of the goodies inside as I possibly can, fight some battles to get some extra stats for my characters going into the end game here. But I'm probably not going to be showing it all on video because it is such a big place, and because it's all completely optional since there are no relics here or anything like that. Probably not necessary to show the whole thing. But since we're just getting started here on floor number 1, don't feel the need to cut out too much except for these redundant battles. A lot of the enemies on these upper floors are going to be ones that are well within our means to handle, but they're going to get a lot more powerful as we descend. Alright, so I have a Cure Tome on Father here. I can go ahead and use that to heal my characters. And if that runs out, I did come prepared. I have with me, in addition to my, in addition to the Stardust Staff I always carry with me, I also have a Cottage and a Cure Tome. But those are the only 3 extra items, aside from what's equipped to my characters, that I brought with me, leaving me plenty of open slots with which to collect all of the treasures here in the nasty dungeon. Speaking of which, I see one coming up ahead, and I probably can't get to it before my stealth runs out. Or can I? I can. Fantastic. Alright, and here we have a dragon armor. Okay, not something I need. I have that for all of my non-robot characters at the moment. Spirit increase once again for Zenith, and some more meat. If I was into eating nightmares, I would be having a feast right now, because I feel like I've gotten nightmare meat already like 3 times since I've been here. Anyway, just to be absolutely certain, I will check Virtue's equipment to see if that dragon armor would be an improvement over, say, a dragon shield, and it would not be. The added immunities would be nice, but I don't think it's worth the hit of 8 defense for it. So with that, I'll meet you at the other corridor. And at the end of this passage, we have an Ogre Killer. I think that's an axe, I think? Let's see if that's better than anything Virtue has currently, though I suspect not. Maybe better than the Sunblade? Let's see. Nope, deals less damage. Oh, and it's a great sword, not an axe, actually. So yeah, lower increase to his strength and lower damage. Not something I'm terribly interested in. May have been something I would have been interested if I had come here prior to Valhalla Palace, because I would have had much worse equipment at that time. See, that's the thing. I could have come here much, much earlier, and in fact, I could have done the entire Nasty Dungeon at that time, but what I imagine a lot of people probably do is they come here at the earliest opportunity, do the first couple of floors maybe, and then proceed with the game and come back for the rest. Anyway, it looks like we actually have a new enemy in this fight, the Answerer. Is that what that's called? Yeah, we've seen swords before, but I don't recall seeing something called an Answerer before, so we'll go ahead and fight this one out. Go ahead and, I guess, target most of my attacks on that Answerer, since I know that nothing else here poses much of a threat to me. Let's see how this goes. Starting out with a shot from Father there, which actually gets through. Those sword-type enemies often have a defensive capability, but it was not able to neutralize that shot from Father. Going to use one of my threads here over to Virtue, probably not in any danger of running out of those anytime soon. I would hope that it doesn't take me 74 threads to get through the remainder, or 72 threads to get through the remainder of this nasty dungeon, as deep as it is. That seems a little bit ridiculous. Though I am probably not going to be able to make this all in one go, especially at the rate that I've been using up my my relic abilities, just using stealth and stuff. I'm probably going to need to refresh my resources by exiting and going to an inn more than once. Unfortunately, the path down from the first floor to the second is kind of deep here. I had to cross... Yeah, alright, I just made it down to basement floor 2, and I had to cross several rooms to get there. It's not an easy matter getting from place to place here. Let's see, let's heal Elodie following that last fight, and start taking a look around basement floor 2. It looks a little bit different than floor 1 did. Things are a lot more angular here, you can see on the mini-map. Looks more like an artificial structure. Oh, I see. I tried to walk across here. You can see there's actually a pit there. And fortunately, the game does not allow me to walk into that. But it does mean that it's really hard to see where you're going if you're looking at the top screen, but looking down at the mini-map instead, it's very clear where you can walk and where you can't. And also where the chests are, thanks to those wonderful mini-map extensions we've gotten along the way. Let's start out by checking what's in here. We have an agility source. And I'm probably going to give that to Natsmer. Is she the one with the higher agility between her and Zenith? Yeah, she is. Okay. I believe she had the, wait, which relic did she have? Did she have the defense or the agility? Well, either way, the stats of my characters definitely took a hit when I lost all of those relics to Apollo. So getting the sources here in this dungeon has helped me recoup a little bit of what I lost back then. Let's see, I do, however, have one relic, which I do need to keep in mind. I have the Goddess's Heart, which is what's going to allow me to go fight Apollo when I'm ready to do so. But for the time being, it's going to allow me to heal my characters, including any that might actually fall in battle once. And that is something that I'll probably be taking advantage of at some point in this nastiest of dungeons. But certainly not something I'm concerned about yet, given the difficulty of the fights we've gotten in. There's a magic source, and I can really only think of one person who wants that. Elodie's spirit stat took a hit back when she switched out her lightning crystal for the Aegis shield oh so long ago now. I really miss that Aegis shield. That's the #1 thing that that I'm missing as I go through this nasty dungeon. I think these fights, as easy as these fights are, don't get me wrong, though I do suspect they're going to be getting harder, they would have been a lot easier if I still had that Aegis shield. It was so powerful. Okay, we have a Cat's Claw, and I do believe that that's a taijutsu technique, but a little bit of a unique taijutsu technique, if it is what I think it is. Let's replace the Hell Wheel with it for now, or at least take a look. Yeah, so this is a taijutsu technique. It is of the taijutsu weapon family, or whatever you call it. Like, it keys off of that particular handling skill, but it doesn't function like the other taijutsu techniques because, as you can see, it deals damage based on agility, which is interesting. Zenith does actually have a really solid agility stat at 35. Well, I mean, maybe not really solid, but it's certainly higher than his strength, which he's been using for this rune axe. So I'm going to switch that out for the cat's claw, and I'm going to try to keep in mind that using this cat's claw is not going to make it more powerful because it's not a tech weapon. It is an ordinary agility-based weapon, but something that he can definitely take advantage of, having his taijutsu handling skill and agility stat the way they are. Ooh, here's a new muse, Uter appearing and doing a Thunderbreaker attack on these hammerheads. Very, very nice. And Father takes things down with the Vulcan gun, alright. A little over 1,000 Kira, not too much, but I imagine all of the Kira I'll be getting over the course of this dungeon is definitely going to add up and allow me to do some pretty nice shopping before I head on to the end of the game, though I do actually have a pretty ridiculous amount of money stored up right now. The last couple of bosses, and also the final dungeon itself, have contained a lot of money. Ooh, and a Vulcan gun, very nice, okay. I already have one of those for both Natsmer and Father, but having a second one or an additional one as a backup is really nice. Let's use the stealth right here, sneak past this rhinoceros or whatever that is, and head a little bit deeper into basement floor number 2 of the nasty dungeon. Let's see what's down here. Maybe this is actually the 3rd floor already? Yeah, it is. All right, basement floor number 3. This one looking a little bit on the green side, a little bit different looking than the last 2 floors. I'm interested in seeing how much the appearance changes as we get deeper and deeper in this place. Outrunning a couple of enemies here. I can't really tell which of these passages is going to contain treasure. Maybe they both do. Let's start out by taking this straight away. It looks like they might actually meet up. Oh, no, they don't, and I chose the wrong one. Let's go get that treasure chest. Ooh, looks like 2 of them, in fact. Over here we have a beam rifle. Ooh, we're getting some really nice stuff already, and we're only on the 3rd floor. And an elixir, okay. And still on basement floor 3, but entering a new room here. Let's see, looks like there's another treasure chest right around this way. See if I can outrun this hammerhead. I'm assuming these are hammerheads, not something I want to get into a fight to. So many enemies on my tail right now. This is going to be bad if I get in a fight. Oh, and I did. The game lagged for a second there. Only one group of enemies, though, fortunately, and it's some demons. Let's try out the break glare thing. I think I was able to turn one of these to stone previously. Reason I'm showing this fight is I wanted to show this cat claw. Look at this thing. Look at how adorable it is. It would only be cuter if there were 2 of them. Alright, we'll use that, and we'll use the Vulcan gun with Natsmer, especially knowing that I have another one of those on the way. I'm more than happy to use it. That Excalibur that Virtue's got is especially useful here in this nasty dungeon, where resources are likely to run a little bit thin after a while. It's nice knowing that I have at least one attack that will literally never run out, and it's going to wrap up the fight. Fantastic. We've got some demon meat there, not that I'm interested in anything like that, and once again a little over 1,000 Kira. And in these chests, what have we got? More sources, maybe? No, we get a Mountain Storm, which is a taijutsu technique we've seen before, and also a Dragon Sword, which is a sword we've seen before. Both of those weapons a little bit outclassed at this point, but I should be able to sell them for a small fortune. I got in one little fight with some cat girls and dragon kids, no stat bonuses, but I did get 2,000 Kira for it, and a blessing from my favorite new muse. Alright. Carrying on here, let's see, let's do a little bit of healing before I get too much deeper into this dungeon. Use the Staff of Healing on Father here to bring everyone back up to full. Only 9 uses left on that thing, and only 8 on Elodie's, so I am actually running a little bit low on Staves of Healing. It would be kind of nice, game, if you would give me a new one here in this nasty dungeon. And that was a group of demons. The Excalibur made short work of them, however. That Excalibur being a group targeting attack is just like icing on the cake. Like, even if it was just a regular single targeting sword, the fact that it never runs out would still make it extremely desirable. But the fact that it's a group targeting attack on top of that, and that it has such a powerful combo attack when you get the threads, that Excalibur is just like one of the best weapons for sure. Speaking of good weapons, we had another Leopard 2 tank to add to our arsenal, something that I may be taking advantage of at some point. Let's see, I believe that Natsmer still has one of those equipped, does she not? I haven't been using it lately. It is still there, isn't it? No, it isn't. Oh, no, it is. It's on the top. It's on the top. Okay. I've been using the Vulcan gun so much that I just completely overlooked that this was here. But yeah, knowing that I have another backup, I should be a little bit more willing to use that Leopard 2. I might as well use the weapons I've got. I mean, I'm not really in danger of them completely running out since we are so near the end of the game, and the Nasty Dungeon is so kindly supplying me with a lot of replacements. Looks like just a dead end that way, oddly enough. The minimap makes it pretty easy to tell when there's actually something down a corridor and when there's not. And down here we have missiles. Wow, so much good stuff here in this Nasty Dungeon. This is totally worth doing. Yeah, like I was saying, even though this place is big and it is optional, there are no relics, and there's no, like, optional boss at the bottom or something like that. At least there wasn't in the original, from what I recall. There might be in this version, which would be cool. But even barring something like that, I'm already glad that I came here and that I got all of this stuff, and I've only scratched the tip of the iceberg. Is that the expression? That doesn't sound like the expression. Okay, anyway, took care of healing following that fight. Elodie went down in that fight, which is something that I haven't seen happen for a little while. I haven't actually had any casualties prior to that at all here in the Nasty Dungeon, these fights being a little bit under my level, even without the help of any relics. Let's see, probably another dead end with the chest down here. That was a waste of stealth right there. I need to be a lot more careful than I have been with this stealth. Ooh, okay, so that's probably not the direction I want to go, because that's a different type of corridor down that way. I'm guessing that this one over here, maybe? A dead end containing a chest? And then we can proceed into that more geometric corridor down the other way. Let's see, is it what I think it is? Okay, good. If this opened into another larger cavern, another like set of corridors, I would be at a loss as to which way I needed to go. But since this is very clearly a dead end, we get a cottage. Okay, that's really good because I'm probably going to use one of those pretty soon just to restore my relic abilities. I'm assuming that that'll restore my relic abilities the same way sleeping at an inn does. If not, I'm in trouble because I've been using these stealths very, very loosely, and I'm going to even more so now that I know that I have a second cottage with me. The thing is, I haven't noticed, aside from like using stealth to get around enemies, a lot of opportunities to use relic abilities here. Like there haven't been any excavate points, any walls that need demolishing or anything. So it's possible that this place was just like designed such that you wouldn't have to use any relic abilities, that there aren't any additional treasures on top of what the original game had due to the addition of excavate points. Okay, we have an energy point down there, which is not something that I need the services of at the moment, because the only thing I'm really running low on is the relic abilities. Elodie and Virtue definitely not running low on the uses of their abilities whatsoever. Alright, this fight might actually be a little bit challenging. There are a ton of adamant shells, and I know it's been a long time since Racetown, but still, I've got to be a little bit concerned about that. Okay, let's open things up with a Psycho Blast here from Elodie, though. We'll put a cat's claw over here on the adamant shells. That thing's so adorable. I love it. Okay, we'll use the cat's claw over there. And we'll use the leopard too with Natsmer, and the Excalibur, we'll put that on the demons. And then Father can use his Vulcan gun on the adamant shells, and let's roll. Yeah, I'm hoping to see some more of the muses make an appearance in battles here. We already saw Uter once, which was really exciting. But I know that a couple others started supporting me. Arato did, for one. So I definitely want to see what Arato does, her being the muse of music in this game. She might like put enemies to sleep or something like that, or maybe even charm them. That would be really cool if something like that could happen spontaneously. One of the adamant shells goes down to that cat attack from Zenith. Will the tank finish the rest of them off? Yeah, okay, looks like I really had nothing to worry about, but still, it had been a while since I had fought adamant shells, and they were a huge problem the last time I did. And we get a ton of money for that, as well as max HP increase for Natsmer, who is probably the person who needed it most. No, I guess she was a little bit ahead of Elodie, but still, very nice getting it on her. She's catching a little bit up to Zenith with his triple sixes. Alright, let's see. This is probably not the way I actually want to be going. This is probably going to take me toward the stairs to the next floor. And I know that there was still an area that I needed to explore behind me. Ooh, we get a limit drive. I'm here in a pretty intense double battle against a lot of enemies, but I've already taken a lot of them out, so it's kind of surprising that I got that limit drive at all. Anyway, this Psycho Shock should be wrapping up the rest of them too. Yeah, that's such a potent attack. Okay, and we get a max HP increase for Elodie and Zenith and Natsmer. Wow, HP for everybody. Fantastic. Finally off of that number of the beast. And we get about 9,000 Kira too. Very nice. Alright, so I'm probably not going to use the Staff of Healing here since it's dwindling in uses. Just going to use the Cure Tome I've got equipped to Father to bring Elodie and Zenith back to maximum. and we'll carry on. Yeah, so I backtracked and I'm going down the other corridor now, and I can see that there's a chest at the end of it. I used up my last use of stealth, so until I use a cottage to get my relic abilities back, I'm going to be dodging enemies manually. Ooh, a circlet. Okay. Circlet is currently the best helmet that I've seen, isn't it? Oh, no, wait. Oh, okay, it is. I just have it for 2 of my characters already. 3 of my... Oh, yeah! Duh, I forgot. Okay. Yeah, I did reach a point where I could buy circlets. I totally forgot about that. I still thought that the only circlet I had was the one that I found, but that's not the case. Is this a new enemy? I don't think I've fought snow leopards before. Okay. I don't expect them to pose any problems, but this is a battle against a new enemy, so we'll leave it in. Okay, well, let's use up the Mountain Storm a little bit, and Vulcan Gun over here, Excalibur over here, and Vulcan Gun here, whatever. Alright, this should not take long at all. But I believe this is my first time against snow leopards, so let's see what they do. Looks like a claw attack, dealing about 78 damage, which is a lot less than the Stegosaurus's deal. So yeah, not feeling too threatened by those in particular, but this is still a pretty challenging battle by the standards of the ones we've seen so far in Nasty Dungeon, and a ton of enemies in it for it not being a double battle. This was a single enemy on the map, and yet there are a lot of foes here in this fight. Alright, looks like Elodie is about toast. One attack from a Stegosaurus will definitely take her down, as will an attack from an Adamant Shell. So yeah, looking a little worse for the wear right now. Let's see how this goes from here, though. Excalibur takes those guys out, as it's been known to do. We'll continue using the Mountain Storm. I definitely want to get that lower in uses, so that it'll be more powerful when I eventually take advantage of it in a boss fight. That's where these taijutsu techniques really do shine, is using their final hit to deal a bunch of damage to a boss that you wouldn't normally be able to do in a single round. Alright, Zenith goes down, but we get a threat opportunity, passing things over to Virtue for Deus Cutter, which is probably the strongest attack I've seen in the game. Look at those 4 digits of damage. And that's enough to wrap things up. Adamant Shell meet. Alright, here we are back on the 5th floor, making a go at this purple level for once. Now that I've backtracked and gotten all of the treasures from that previous floor. Let's see. Oh man, so many branches. Alright, I'm gonna go left every time, and once I've exhausted my options, I'll return and take some other paths. Going depth first for the computer science aware. So let's see, what's down this way? Looks like a single corridor here, and nope, it's branching again. Okay, oh wait, did that actually return me to the start? I bet that returned me to the start. Okay, so I'm probably going to have to figure out the correct path here. So let's go left first, then down the center. And we get a treasure. Okay, so I'm still probably going to want to exhaust every possibility, knowing that there are treasures in these. Oh, and we get another self-repair unit. I wonder if 2 of those stack, if we gave both of those to Virtue, if he would restore double the HP at the end of each round. But even if he did, that still seems less valuable than simply having a higher defensive stat. But it might be something worth trying out at some point. Agility increase for Zenith, who used the Mountain Storm there, and an evaluation from Urania. Alright, carrying on now, heading down this way. This is the last of the left passages. Ooh, okay. It looks like the correct choice is left then right, so, oops, wait, what did I just do? Sorry. So I'm gonna go back and explore the right passages now to see if there are any treasures down that way. And there was a passage down the right, or a treasure down the right passage, and it's just a Staff of Wizardry. However, inventory was full already? I knew this day would come, but so soon? Alright, gonna have to, you know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna use a cottage. Alright, let's do it. Cottage, heal everyone. We get the nice in music, even though we're in the middle of the dungeon. Everyone's back up to full. Please tell me I have my relic powers back. I do, okay, so I have 23 uses of stealth going forward, and I also have a Staff of Wizardry. And I got into a fight with some nightmares, increasing Zenith's agility even further. Okay. And I'm currently heading into the 4-way branch, so starting from the left, let's see what we find. Assuming I can make it past the enemies in this room here. I've been doing okay manually dodging things without the stealth for the most part. I don't mind getting into an encounter here or there. Okay, we have, in this chest ahead of us, something I have no space for, but it's a Yoichi's bow, which is something worth making space for, I do believe. Okay, so what do I want to do about this? I'm gonna have to, at some point, probably head back to town and drop some things off with the warehousemen, but I really don't want to. At this point, I would almost rather, you know, just forget about it. because I've got so much stuff. It would be so much trouble getting back here to this point. But I probably should. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go back to town, drop things off with the warehouseman, and then I will come back here probably 40 minutes from now.